Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
When's the last time that you picked up a box of Huggies that weighed 27 pounds? Maria, we don't have any Huggies in the county jail, but we have you there.
Now at 6:30, a local sheriff makes light of a serious situation, how his deputies made the largest bust in county history. Good evening, this is News 6 at 6:30, Getting Results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Warmouth. One of our top trending stories includes a debate that we want you to weigh in on. What is the best temperature to set your air conditioner to save money? That was thrown in there, but Tom clearly thinks Ginger has it all wrong.
Ginger sets that house that she lives in way down low in the 60s at night. She keeps it Arctic cold. Tell her now on Talk to Tom, she is really not being energy efficient, is she?
Coming up a little later, the expert answer on what's the right setting, and we're asking you to weigh in, and boy, do you have some opinions on this. Also ahead.
Mating season, what does that look and sound like in Florida?
It sounds like big, huge bellows, like dinosaur
like
roars.
What?
Let's hear it.
Like, I don't know. I don't do a good bellow.
Guys, feisty. You have questions on gator mating season? We have some answers. Advice for coping with gators as they start getting more aggressive.
But we start now at 6:30 tonight with big ideas on the right way to really get the future of commuter rail on track. Next week marks 10 years since SunRail welcomed the first passengers aboard. A decade later, it still does not run on weekends. And while it links to Barrie all the way down to Point Siena, many of you are asking, why doesn't it reach Orlando International or Disney? Well, soon it might. News 6's Catherine Silver walks us through what could soon be the future of SunRail.
One of the top things we hear from you is about the transportation needs here in Central Florida. How do I get from A to B in a better way, and what's being done to get results? So today we're here at the SunRail station in Winter Park taking a look at the current route. Right now you can get from DeBarry all the way down to Point Siena, but they're considering a new expansion that would take you from Orlando International Airport west to Disney Springs. The cost for all of this is $4 billion. It's a lot of money when they still need to decide who's going to pay to build it and operate it. And there's the question of who's using the SunRail system now. So we're on the SunRail train now, headed southbound down to the Advent Health stop. It's 1:06 on a Friday afternoon, and there was about 24 people that got on board. Most of the rows here have people sitting in them.
I think it's pretty good. It's pretty fast. It is reliable, honestly, especially with time.
What do you think about SunRail?
It's very convenient. I don't use it often, but I'm considering using it to come to downtown. If they offer more stops, if they do it more frequently, it would be even better.
In a commuter rail commission meeting this week, SunRail praised their new numbers, saying ridership is up. More than 5,000 people took the train in March. The average for November to February was about 4,500. They argue an expansion would keep that momentum, possibly boosting ridership to 6 million people every year, especially if it connected the airport, convention center, iDrive, and Disney Springs. SunRail has been asking the public for input. A recent survey revealed less than 12% of respondents are regular SunRail users. 43% said they have never used it. They also asked where would they want to go. Most people said the airport, and the second most popular destination was Disney Springs.
So there is data here that shows a lot of people use these trains, not every day, but when they have an event or somewhere specific they'd like to go for the day. But the chairman of SunRail's commission says these trains are also for the workforce, people who maybe don't have a car or don't want to sit in traffic. And the hope is that this expansion will encourage more of those people to also get on board. In Orange County, I'm Catherine Silver, Getting Results, News 6.
Developing tonight at 6:30 as a growing number of college campuses nationwide see demonstrations against the war in Gaza, Florida students are being urged to keep protests peaceful. Sky 6 over UCF today, where we spotted a group gathering by the campus reflecting pond, many of them holding Palestinian flags. Not far away, there was another group holding Israeli flags. Now, UCF released a statement saying they are a public university that values the free exchange of ideas and the expression of different viewpoints. Meantime, the University of Florida released this statement right here to News 6 saying peaceful protests are constitutionally protected. Camping, putting up structures, disrupting academic activity, or threatening others on university property is strictly prohibited, though. They said breaking the law would result in a trespassing order and suspension. Protests at college campuses across the nation have ramped up, with one campus announcing it's canceling its main commencement ceremony. A group of Columbia students has filed a lawsuit against the university, claiming the pro-Palestinian protesters have been victims of discrimination.
A crime alert to tell you about tonight. Polk County's sheriff calls it the largest seizure of fentanyl in his department's history. 4 people are facing charges. One remains on the run in a fentanyl bust the sheriff says could have killed a third of all Floridians. Today, Sheriff Grady Judd announced the seizure of 14 kilos of drugs following an undercover operation that began in August of 2023. It came to an end this past Monday when deputies say these 4 people were caught delivering the fentanyl. One of the suspects said she was just bringing diapers in from California.
When's the last time that you picked up a box of Huggies that weighed 27 pounds? Maria, we don't have any Huggies in the county jail, but we have you there, and that's where you're going to stay until our state attorney and his prosecutors lock you up for a very long time.
Investigators say in addition to the drugs, cash and cars were also seized.
Well, the dry weather has us all watching our lawns, right? But one city's water use crackdown is pretty intense, bringing in fines of up to $500. But Apopka leaders promise it is all for a good cause. They spoke with News 6's Laverne McGee.
A couple of days ago, the city of Apopka posted water restrictions on their website. City of Apopka Mayor Brian Nelson says they've not been strict in the past, but now they have to be.
And we don't have the reclaimed water storage that, it's down to very little in the ponds, which is where we get our water. We have maximum amounts of water that we can take out of the ground based on our St. John's water management permit. So we need to be very careful that we don't overextend the amount of water that we pull out of the ground.
They posted this online notice 2 days ago that says in part, quote, a state of water supply conservation has been enacted by the city of Apopka. The public notice goes on to say, according to the St. John's River Water Management District, restricted irrigation activities are permitted before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. It also lists consequences of violating restrictions, such as a first violation of a written warning and a second violation of a $50 fine. This is the start of Rock Spring. This is where the water comes down, and this is one of the areas that the city of Apopka is trying to protect.
That's a very big, it's a very big issue for us. Wekiva Springs and Rock Springs are both very important to not only to our community, but also to tourism.
Mayor Nelson says they're trying to deal with the problem by saving 1 billion gallons in storage, which is about a year's supply. They plan to create a new 200 million gallon pond next year off Snowden Road behind their wastewater plant. Laverne McGee, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, beach season is here, so you're taking a live look at our Daytona, Toyota, and DeLand Kia beach camp. Volusia County needs more lifeguards, so it is ramping up recruiting efforts. News 6's Molly Reed shows us how they are boosting pay and bonuses.
Mother's Day, which is the busiest beach day of the year here in Volusia County, is just around the corner. The May holidays really kick off the busy beach season here, and Volusia is heading in needing about 150 more part-time lifeguards.
We do have 160 returning guards, but we need more. The more guards, the better.
Volusia Beach's interim director, Tammy Malfer, says to get more eyes on the water, they're having to go above and beyond what they've done in the past.
There's a national lifeguard shortage. We have felt the effects of that over the last couple of years, unfortunately. We have gone to almost every high school in Volusia County for recruiting events and career fairs, and we've really stepped up our efforts there in the schools.
This year, starting pay is at $17 an hour. Returning guards are getting higher bonuses, and new hires can make over $1,700 in bonuses.
Those bonuses are going to go to the lifeguards that work a certain amount of holidays and weekends.
Malfer says they have 48 recruits that still have to pass their final tests to become lifeguards. Then they'll have another recruiting class in June. She says they are seeing a lot better tryout numbers this year compared to last year, but it's still getting pretty hard getting the younger generations in the door.
We're seeing less and less of these younger kids coming out and wanting to be physical and be outdoors.
It's just nice to be able to be in this environment instead of being in a warehouse or something. It's really the environment makes the job so much better.
Daniel McGuire, who is now heading into his 3rd year as a lifeguard, says getting paid to work out, be at the beach, and save lives outweighs everything else.
When you're locked in the entire day and you're really focused, and it's super fulfilling, you know, being there like to help medically or to help with water rescues, and like being the person that's there and on someone's like worst day, and then you're the person that makes it a good day for them.
In Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed getting results, News 6.
Beach going isn't all that picks up this time of year. Reptiles are also looking for love, and it is one of the top stories trending tonight on clickorlando.com. Gator mating season, it's arrived in Florida, and that means these native reptiles are seen more often, sometimes in unlikely places, and they can be more aggressive.
I just like to call them amorous, not so much aggressive. So you have questions, and on Florida's 4th Estate, Matt Austin and I caught up with a true expert about mating season, Gatorland's Savannah Bowen.
And every year at this point in the year, we show videos on the news of gators climbing fences or walking across golf courses.
Yeah.
How does this whole mating thing work? Why are they moving? Why don't they just hook up in their local bar or watering hole
Well,
like
sometimes
normal?
they do hook up in their local watering hole, but sometimes the younger alligators in the state of Florida, not the big bulls, but the younger ones, you know, they want to have a girlfriend too. So they might pop into a pond, and then the big bull alligator that's been there for 20 years doesn't like that.
You gotta go.
So he's going to run them out. And when they run out, they're just running. They're not thinking, oh, well, don't let me go over to Dan's pond. Let me go over to Jake's. Like, they're just going to whichever pond they can find. And going through the canals, like underneath the water, through, you know, sewer pipes and things like that.
Mating season, what does that look and sound like in
So
Florida?
it sounds like big, huge bellows, like dinosaur
like what?
roars.
Let's hear it.
Like, I don't know. I don't do a good bellow.
We've had a bellow on this show before. You might be in second place.
That's when the big male alligators are sucking in all that air and they're puffing themselves up to show off. You know, like guys at a bar when it's late at night, and the females get to make the decisions, just like in real life.
Yes.
So the male alligator will, you know, kind of find a girl that he likes. He'll start blowing a little bit of bubbles. If she seems like she's interested in those bubbles, she might come over. She might bubble him too.
Oh, the bubbles.
They might rub each other's faces because they have these sensors on their faces that are like 100 times more sensitive than your fingertips.
I think gators in the wild doing this.
So they'll like rub each other's faces.
Wow, you're kind of painting a picture here.
Want to know
Relatable.
more? Okay, so as to what relatable.
First time ever with a gator.
As to what happens next, you'll have to look for the full episode of Florida's 4th Estate at clickorlando.com/FFE. I promise you won't regret it. It's one of my favorites. You can also find it inside one of our top trending stories. It is also on the homepage.
That's the beauty of podcasting.
You
can
talk
kind
about
of
things
get
like
into
that.
it a little
Yeah,
bit.
It was a little much.
Good stuff. Well, that headline, Top 5 Gator Facts, what you need to know this mating season. Our second top trending story also involves animals on the move, this time humans.
Oh.
The headline, New Yorkers have been flooding into Florida. Here's where they moved to.
So once again, clickorlando.com and News 6 digital producer Anthony Talcott is digging into new reports from the U.S. Census Bureau. And Tony, the stereotype is that those New Yorkers all head for Miami and other parts of South Florida.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Ginger. And there's a reason for that. It's true.
Okay.
Now, between 2016 and 2020, more than 60,000 New Yorkers became new Floridians. And their top 3 destinations were Palm Beach, Miami-Dade, and Broward counties, in that order. But Central Florida saw its own share of transplants. In fact, Orange County came in 4th, followed by Hillsborough County on the other end of the I-4 corridor. Osceola County came in just below the top 5, making it the 6th most popular destination for New Yorkers. And Polk County came in all the way at number 9. Pasco, north of Tampa, rounds out the top 10. Now, not everyone who moves here stays here. During the same time frame, 20,000 people left Florida for New York, but that means we still gained approximately 38,500 former New Yorkers in 4 years. Ginger, Justin?
Did they mention why people would leave Florida?
why they would leave Florida.
Yeah, I mean, the people who are moving away, maybe
not-
jobs or something.
Yeah, that's
I don't
what
know.
I think, because it's
Probably,
not a ton of people,
Honestly,
right?
the data doesn't really show that, but I'm
Yeah.
assuming that it's probably job related, considering that that's what happened for a lot of folks during that time frame.
Sure, yeah, it makes a lot of sense because I'm thinking so many people are moving here. Why would you leave unless you absolutely had to? I know I couldn't get here fast enough.
And the thing
I'm
is,
right there with you.
As I talked to some realtors all through the area, folks may have moved to South Florida.
Yeah.
During the 2016 to 2020 range, but they've moved there and now they're moving here from South Florida to Central Florida. That's what we continue to get new data on. So interesting to see those new numbers when they come out, Tony, but always enlightening to talk about the migration of folks coming here. I mean, it's just, we're booming. So
we really are.
Yeah, for
appreciate it. Well, it turns out Ginger has some pretty strong opinions on our third top trending
I
story.
sure do, Justin.
The headline, what is the best temperature to keep your home in Florida? So on Talk to Tom, an energy expert told Tom Sorrells 78 degrees is the optimum setting when you're home, 82 when you're not there to enjoy it. Tom says our new 6 team has some disagreements, and he may have thrown Ginger under the bus
Several
a little
buses.
I leave my house at about 77 degrees, close to 78, trying not to, spend too much money cooling. Matt Austin is a little bit below that. He's somewhere in that 74 to 75 range, or maybe 72. Ginger Gadsden, I'm going to throw her under the bus right now. Ginger sets that house that she lives in way down low in the 60s at night. She keeps it Arctic cold. Tell her now on Talk to Tom, she is really not being energy efficient, is she?
Well, 78 or higher is the most energy efficiency setting for when you're home. When you leave your house, you need to bump it up a couple of degrees.
Wow.
I would say no more than 82 because you want it to run enough to get take the humidity out of the home.
Right.
But if you're not there to enjoy the comfort of it, you need to bump it up a couple of degrees. But when you are home, 78 or higher is the most energy efficiency setting. And this is for energy efficiency.
Not for sleeping, because for sleeping, Ginger likes to knock it way down to like 63, 62 or something. That's crazy, right? That's going to be a high bill. That's not efficient.
Okay, so let's
get clear some stuff up.
That Greg said it. I like just keep it at 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, in his defense, he did say in the 60s. 68 is the number, and when I'm home and when I'm sleeping, I keep it at 68 consistently. When I come to work, it automatically resets
that makes
to
a
about
difference.
76.
I think everyone has different temperatures for different parts of the day, right? You want to sleep at a certain temperature, whether you're just being at home a certain temperature, and then when you leave a certain temperature as well.
You're in the 70s?
73, pretty much.
That's
24/7.
That's a good one. That's
So,
about as high as I can
I don't
go.
know. I mean, you go any higher than that, I'm going to be sweating when I'm sleeping. I can't.
But I'm trying to recover from all those buses that ran me over because Tom truly did throw me under the bus. Now it's your turn to react. We always want to hear from you, and plenty of you are already having your say about this. Do you keep your thermostat at 78 degrees? Weigh in at clickorlando.com/react right now. Listen to this. Close to 3,000 people have already voted on this. Can you tell it's polarizing? More than half said absolutely not. It's just too hot. About a third think that's just the right setting. Again, make your voice heard at clickorlando.com/react.
78 to 80, probably in the 80s is like what my grandma keeps it at. So I go in there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how y'all live. If you have your phone handy as well, just open up your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen. The link will take you to the poll, and we're gonna have the results Monday night right here at 6:30.
We can just say it right now. Tom Sorrells, anything you want to say about the temps outside?
What I have to say is you guys don't really love Florida. You really love your AC.
Yeah.
Both can be true.
I'm telling you straight up, Ginger, in the 60s is too cold. Okay. All right, 8 o'clock tonight, 76. By 9 p.m., 73. 10 o'clock, 72, mostly clear. I'll be back to pinpoint the weekend. There's a chance of rain about like that. And then a huge warm-up in a few more days.
Also, watch out on the roads. Up to 100,000 bikers rolling into town this weekend. A preview of Leesburg's Bikefest.
But first, News 6 investigates an imposter who ruined a UCF's student's reputation. And that case may impact federal law, how a local congressman wants to get results and make sure you have control of your identities online. That's next.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30, live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Palm Coast, Lady Lake, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Now at 6:30, a News 6 investigation is prompting a congressional push to protect your reputation on social media platforms.
Congressman Darren Soto is developing the SHIELD Act to stop online libel. He spoke to News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld.
We want to make sure that people have control over their identities online.
Veteran Florida Congressman Darren Soto is crafting language for new legislation that will ban libel on social media platforms and provide legal leverage for people like you and me.
This is a long time coming. Most of the internet is governed by laws that are from 1996. In Central Florida, we saw a young man, Alex Bouguet, who had his identity stolen online.
On Capitol Hill, Soto summarized the exclusive News 6 investigation into UCF student Alex Bouguet's tainted reputation.
It cost him a research position at a local hospital, jeopardized his matriculation at a local university.
Evidence for a need to expand the Communications Decency Act.
We're thrilled to work with Channel 6 and with your reporting. It really caused us to examine identity theft, particularly with these types of scenarios.
Our reporting led to the proposed 2024 SHIELD Act, aka Stopping Hijacking of Identity Expressly for Libel Domains Act.
We're seeing increasing interest on both sides of the aisle to move this legislation forward again. And this time around, we're seeing much more interest from the Senate, which was a key hurdle last time.
Your reaction to this, to hear that your story may be impacting a change in a federal law?
I was really happy that, change was being made, and that's what mattered.
Alex Bouguet tells me he recently graduated from UCF. We caught up with him from his home in Miami via Zoom.
I was beyond ecstatic.
We've been keeping him updated on the progress of the SHIELD Act.
I wanted to thank you so much for your help. Between you and Congressman Soto, I feel that not only my reputation has been restored, but I truly feel that this is going to significantly help other people from what they have experienced.
Congressman Soto tells me he expects the proposed SHIELD Act to be reviewed in the next few months. If approved by Congress, it will change the landscape of our identity on the internet forever. Mike Holfeld, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, it is time to get revved up for the weekend, and for bikers, there's just one place to be.
Yeah, move over Daytona Beach just for this week. This week is Leesburg's turn to shine. You can see a sea of bikes right there as Sky 6 flew over the Leesburg Bikefest. As many as 100,000 people are expected to show up for the 3-day event. By the way, Sugar Ray is performing.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow, and all the concerts are free. I should have pointed this way to the video. I was like,
It's all back. It's
over
fine.
here. Yeah.
He just wants to fly. Drivers are urged to use caution with bike traffic and some closures. Avoid traffic like Lane Express is again offering a special shuttle service with 160 stops from the Villages to Mount Dora.
That's pretty nice. And speaking of that city, let's take you there live. Live look from the lighthouse at Palm Island Park. This is courtesy of the city, which is just 16 miles east of Leesburg. So beautiful shot there tonight. But once again, we have to say a big thank you to our generous News 6 viewers for getting results for domestic violence survivors and their pets.
Yeah, we heart you guys. We called on you to help raise money for the Paws for Peace kennel at Harbor House of Central Florida. Last night's phone bank raised $10,000 for Paws for Peace, so kudos to you all for all of that. A furry mascot quickly became a favorite with our viewers, though, and that dog with no name sparked a bidding war.
Eric, who's the cute pup behind you right now, waving at the camera?
Yeah. So what is your name, pup? I don't think the dog can talk. That would be breaking news right now. I'll find out. I'll get back to you in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Ladies, you had a question about what the dog's name was back here in the back row. We found out the dog doesn't have a name.
Oh.
And so here's a little incentive for you.
Okay.
Call right now, 1-888-436-6665. Make a donation. Also make a recommendation on what this pooch should be named. We're going to gather up all the names and come up with a name for the dog based on your suggestions.
I feel like the highest donation should get the naming rights.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
say that
that's
again?
just my idea. The highest donation should get the naming rights.
Highest donation gets naming rights. What's the name right now? We have Baron von Lichten.
I thought it was Liechtenstein.
Baron, something like that. That is the name that we have right now with a $150 donation. I know we can do better than that.
Someone has to call and donate more than $150. That poor dog cannot be named, whatever that name is.
I like the,
because then next year we're going to have to say that name on the air.
Lisa and Justin, I think last half hour we had Baron von Liechtenstein.
It was a horrible name, a horrible name.
So you guys didn't like that. We have an update on that.
Okay.
Okay, so that was for a $150 donation, Baron von Liechtenstein. We now have a $1,600 donation that really just bolstered that.
Wow.
The new name, Toby.
Oh, was that you, Tom Sorrells?
I do love the name Toby.
Yeah.
It was not Toby, or it was not Tom, but it was a great name. Ultimately, we did get a $2,300 donation, and the dog's name is Carter.
I love it. I
Great
love
name.
it. If we were
Good
thinking ahead, we would have given bidding rights to a middle name. Maybe it could have been Toby.
There we go.
You can still help us, though. Join us tomorrow for the Paws for Peace Walk and Run. It will happen at Blue Jacket Park in Orlando. That's in the Baldwin Park neighborhood. Registration begins at 8 in the morning, and the walk and run begin at 9:30 in the morning.
And you can also register with that QR code on your screen or on clickorlando.com. So bring out your pets. It's going to be a really fun time. And as we were saying earlier, you don't have to have a pet to go. It is a great time to figure out which kind of dog you'd like to maybe adopt or something. Yeah.
So many.
You want a golden doodle is what you want.
Tom has solved all
Just
the
like
problems,
95% of us,
yeah,
right?
exactly. All right, Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells is here with us now. How's it looking for that walk tomorrow
Awesome.
morning? Yeah.
Are you guys going to be able to make it?
I don't know yet.
Yeah,
Let me go to the Magic game, I think.
Oh, that's right. You have tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go with the dogs, I'll take your ticket.
Yeah. Tom will help you
Let
out.
me think it over, Tom.
Yeah, okay. Let me know. Let me know when the show's over. Live weather radar right now. We're good to go. We're dry, but you see these little speckles of rain out here in the Atlantic. That's where the rain chances will be coming from this weekend. And check them out. 20 chance of rain tomorrow. It is not going to rain all day. You'll be lucky if you see anything of the rain. You will see the wind. Things will be blustery, gusting up to 23 tomorrow, then dying in the evening, coming back on Sunday, just a little less. Do you have beach plans for the weekend? 81 will be the temperature tomorrow in Daytona Beach. The water temperature is running about 77 right now. Here's the water vapor loop. All that dry air that's brought us the blue sky and the good conditions for the last few days is checking out. Moisture building in. All this milky color and the green you're seeing there, that's moisture trying to get in here. Relative humidities are on the way up. Overnight low this morning was 61. The high today hit 85. Currently in Orlando, we're at 78. Temperature reading in Daytona Beach is 75. Temps where you live, 81 from Ocala to the Villages to Wildwood, Kissimmee 79, 77 New Smyrna, and 77 in Cocoa Beach. Okay, how does that stack up? Well, compared to last night at the same time, we're actually 1 degree cooler in Orlando and 2 degrees cooler up there in Palm Coast. Onshore flow will be very persistent tomorrow. Ridge of high pressure is in place, so what that means is that the air coming over the open waters of the Atlantic will pick up some moisture and put it in here as a scattered shower or two. Then on Sunday, the winds veer a little more and we turn it into a warming situation. Ridge of high pressure builds out to the east over the coming week. And man, do we get warmer by this time next week. Over the weekend, there comes those little bitty spritzes of rain right there by 9 a.m. tomorrow. Most of you will never see the rain. It will not amount to much, but you could get tagged by a scattered shower. No lightning is expected. It won't be rough, but you might hit some light rain. Okay, other than that, temperatures are the stars. Overnight lows tonight in the 60s, so we've become a lot milder. The low tonight in Orlando tumbles to 67. Here is tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Daytime high tomorrow hits 83 by 4 in the afternoon. Our rain chance will be about 20%. The temp will be 80. Sunday, high of 82 and Monday 85. So we do warm up and look at next Thursday, 90. Friday, 92.
Tom, thank you. Well, it wasn't a water hazard, but it was a hazard that came out of the water.
That's true. Now, a Gator delayed a PGA tournament. Stay with us. We're just back in 2. All right, so before we go, it's not unusual for weather to delay a PGA tournament, right? But they don't often have a Gator delay.
Look at that guy. He's not that big, but he's not that small either.
And he's also taking his time.
It was a cold-blooded kind of hazard on the links as golfers were preparing to tee off at the 17th hole at TPC, Louisiana yesterday. A Gator made its way right across the tee box. Fortunately, it didn't really get close to anyone, but golfers did have to wait, you said it was slow, about 10 minutes for him or her to kind of like move it along.
Well, it was probably a him, right? Because we just talked about Gator.
Yeah, he's out catting. He's looking for love in all the wrong places.
That's right.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
I've seen Happy Gilmore, so I'm not going around that thing.
Thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
Great news on clickorlando.com. See you back here at 11.